You'll need to get both halves of the Dectus medallion. One can be found at Fort Height in southeast Limgrave, and the other half can be found at Fort Feroth in Caelid. Once you have the complete medallion, take it to the Grand Lift of Dectus in northeastern Liurnia. You can get to it by traveling up along the west side of Liurnia Lake. After reaching the main Caria Manor Gate site of Grace, head east and use a stone spire bridge to cross over to the east side, then make your way north to the lift. The second is gaining access to Lanedale Royal Capital. To do that, acquire 2 Great Runes and defeat the Draconic Tree Sentinel guarding the northern entrance to the capital ramparts. In addition to the boiled prawns, Bogart will sell boiled crabs at the outer moat location. They are similar to boiled prawns, but will increase physical damage negation to an even greater extent. Despite being better, they are actually the same price as boiled prawns. Get your fill of crabs and then speak with Bogart and go through all of his dialogue relating to Dung Eater before leaving. Next, you'll need to collect at least 1 seabed curse. The easiest one to get is right after entering the royal capital. Start at the capital rampart site.
In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly where to find the Great Stars heavy weapon. Please make sure to smash the like button, please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to see more content like this in the future. The area we're going to start at is near the Windmill Village, and it's a side path grace spot. That's where we're going to start from, and what we're going to do is we're just going to jump on our horse Torrent and we're going to dash towards this convoy here. Start at is near the Windmill Village, and it's a side path grace spot. That's where we're going to start from, and what we're going to do is we're just going to jump on our horse Torrent and we're going to dash towards this convoy here. You can see there's several enemies towards this area, and what you want to do is just jump off your horse, jump on the back of the actual caravan and collect the weapon. You will get attacked, but you can run off, or it doesn't really matter anyway if you do die, because the item, once you collect it, is still in your inventory. If this video has helped you, please make sure to smash the like button, please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Make sure you check out my channel as well, because I have got other content on Elden Ring, such as different outfits, different weapons, and there is many of them. So see you guys. The area we're going to start at is near the Windmill Village, and it's a side path grace spot. That's where we're going to start from, and what we're going to do is we're just going to jump on our horse Torrent and we're going to dash towards this convoy here. You can see there's several enemies towards this area, and what you want to do is just jump off your horse, jump on the back of the actual caravan and collect the weapon. You will get attacked, but you can run off, or it doesn't really matter anyway if you do die, because the item, once you collect it, is still in your inventory. If this video has helped you, please make sure to smash the like button, please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Make sure you check out my channel as well, because I have got other content on Elden Ring, such as different outfits, different weapons, and there is many of them. So see you guys in the next one. Peace.
What's up guys, Jason Broke, and welcome back to another Elden Ring weapon showcase. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Great Stars, a great hammer with natural blood loss buildup, so we will of course be using this on the arcane build with the occult infusion. That way both our blood loss buildup and our damage output get scaled from the one stat, which is arcane. I'll of course be showcasing it both single and two-wielded, although the two-wield option is definitely going to be the most optimal for the blood loss buildup, since you do get 2 attacks with the two-wield option, so the blood loss buildup is going to increase quite a lot faster that way. As for the stats, we have our usual high health pool, so we do have our 59 vigor, we have the 32 endurance because this is the minimum. The Great Stars are my talismans that I plan to showcase for today. I also have the minimum requirements to one-hand the weapon, so we do have the 22 strength and the 12 dexterity, and then the rest of the points are poured into arcane. giving us a damage output of 604 with a low loss buildup of 101. As for the choice of talismans, my first talisman slot is my swap around slot, so I do start off with the Ritual Shield Talisman to enhance my defenses. Then once I'm hit, I might swap to the Shard of Alexander if I am using an Ash of War that has damage output. I have the Claw Talisman to enhance the jump attacks. Great Hammers have really high damage in jump attacks as it is, especially when dual-wielded, so we do use the Claw Talisman to enhance that further. It's pretty devastating. I have the Crimson Hammer Medallion plus 2 for the HP boost, and the Great Jar's Arsenal for the equipment boost. Now, taking a look at the moveset of the Great Stars, it is a Great Hammer, so it does get quite a lot of the standard Great Hammer moveset. The two-handed lights are the vertical slams, the R2s are the horizontal strikes, followed by the secondary horizontal strike. The moveset kit for this weapon is pretty straightforward. I think it just has the overall standard moveset of the Great Hammers. Nothing unique that I'm seeing here. Everything seems pretty straightforward, so if you have used the Great Hammer before, you definitely know the entire moveset of this weapon. I suppose the one unique thing this weapon has going for it is the natural blood loss buildup, so you can have a Great Hammer on an Arcane build. Other than that, though, the moveset is pretty straightforward. It is a regular Smithing Stone weapon, though, so you do have access to many different Ashes of War. I plan to start off with Wild Strikes. I feel like that works really well on Great Hammers. You get a lot of hyper armor, especially this one, which will cause blood loss build up first strike, so if you trade, it's a win-win for you. And then if you feel like you're going to land, you can finish it with a lighter heavy attack. The other Ash of War I have here is Storm Stomp. I feel like this pairs really well with status effect weapons. If your opponent is really close to being bled and you need to land one more hit, and you really don't want them to roll the bleed, I feel like it's smart to try to get them with the Storm Stomp. That way you get the free R1 off of it. You get the damage and the blood loss buildup. That's all I really have to say about the weapon, though. Let's just see how it performs in the duels and in the invasions. Alright, jumping into our first match, we have Oni. Hello there, Oni. Hello, the Murray Executioner. I like it. How's it going? Alright. Are you good? Okay. Oh. Forgot about the physics class, huh? How could you forget about the physics class? Oh, okay, I jumped the Ash of War and didn't take any damage at all. That's pretty interesting. I thought it might chip me a little bit, but sometimes, yeah, the iframes on jumps, pretty amazing. Oh, wow, beautiful, beautiful. I did not expect that to full connect, but it poise broke me. Amazing. Okay, I gotta watch out for the Ash of War. Okay, just like that, so I brought it completely back because the damage output on the jumping L1 is pretty severe. The double rock throw. I wonder why you use the rock throw with that. That's interesting. Oh, very fun fight, Odie. Honestly, both our burst damage there was pretty crazy. You almost one-shot me, and then I almost did the same and popped your bubble tier with a jump attack. Awesome fight. Moving on to our next opponent, we have Ilvern. Hello there. Give you a nice bow. I see you have the cursed. A bleed build as well. Alright. Bleed versus bleed. Honestly, in this first match, the bleed actually procced really quickly. This thing's have a really high bleed rate. Let's see, that's one hit. No phantom hit there, so not two. I'm trying to keep track of how much pressure this 2 hits. It also has such high damage. Okay, not 3. On the 4th hit, it didn't. It wasn't being the most pressure hit well at the beginning. I did land first hit and take a while to follow up, so. Our next opponent is.
Hey, I'm Riley, and welcome to the lab. Today, I'm here to talk about the Microsoft Surface Pro 9 with the 13-inch touchscreen. What's so great about this product is that it gives you the flexibility and the versatility of a tablet or a laptop. The keyboard comes.
Our next opponent is Dark, and Dark has. Is that called the Watchdog staff? I think I haven't used that as well yet, but I recognize it. Hello there, Dark. Let's get our battles going here. So, is that a Great Hammer? I believe. So you're both rocking Great Hammers. Is that considered a colossal weapon? I don't really know or remember for sure.
What?
Fire damage. Interesting. Yeah, let's boost our
Mama.
attacks here. Sorry. I love that we missed each other by like a hair. It's pretty cool. Ooh, it does do fire damage. Interesting. Okay. Maybe that's not the one that I thought it was. Wanted to try to land wild strikes. Honestly, if they're prepared for it, it's pretty easy to avoid, it seems. A triple roll catch chain, okay. I do want to try to land it though. Oh! There, that might be a land. No, it's a little slow on the startup. Oh, you did hit your Ash of War though. Actually, I don't even know what weapon that is. Very fun white dark. Such a rare weapon, I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's
what the fuck?
Moving on to our next battle, we have Nephew. Hello there, with two blades. Yoke meat build. Like Mayo. Oh, that thing. Can I straight these? Okay. I just kind of have to like curve back towards where they come from. My roar next. With this. Oh, I thought I'd have the poise to do the fully charged heavy chain, but I didn't. Follow up here into the R2. Ah. Big attack! Oh, the poise to tank the jumping heavy of a great hammer on that Ash of War. Interesting. Never really experienced that before. I really do like my jumping all once. I really do want to try the R2 after the buff.
What max?
Okay. That worked out. I didn't fully charge it though. Jumping heavy kind of works. There we go. Very fun fight, Nephew. In a battle of the Twin Blade. I didn't get to land like the fully charged version, but I'll try it still. Oh, what have we here? Lulin and it's a cosplay build. Alright. We have the Halo sight already. It's interesting. I just did that. My last video. I was a Rod Knight with the Halo sight.
What? Oh,
Yes, the Golden Rings of
Oh.
Beauty. There's no buffs though? Okay. My roar, dude. Oh no. I have to watch out for that. I do want to charge and land the heavy attack, but it's so slow. Looks cool though, but I don't know if I'll land this. The follow-up might be a good option from time to time. Hard to say. And the backstep for roll attack. Oh. Okay. Bonk. Yeah, that Ash of War I feel like is much better in Asian scenarios. You can't really react punish with it if I do something slow because the startup's slow. It can pressure pretty well in other ways though. Wow. Try to just close the gap. That needs a lot of stamina.
ow, but
It is hard to get in a hit when
you
you
stepped on my dick.
Pretty scary. Double bonk. Oh! No double bonk. The one-handed moveset's a little bit better with dealing with that roll away. Try and use that to my advantage here. Survival. I love it. I think a move that'd be good for this. I like how they're rolling periodically. Working pretty well though. Strong. Very fun fight. Jumping into the final battle, I found Link. Hello there, Link. How are you? I have the great stars for today. I might use one first though. Oh yeah, I forgot my crab. Alright, let's go. You have your Frostbite build up, I have my Lee build up. Similar aspects can be very dangerous though. Oh! That almost would have hit me actually, that would have hit me. Oh, the wind is so weird. Like it has a lingering hitbox. I always try to punish it. I remember even when like Link does the Sword Color Ash of War, I try to punish it, and like I don't know, it has like a lingering hit. Now he knows my Ash of War is different. Oh, beautiful! I don't even know if that was intentional or not, but it worked very well. Very scary, Link. Oh, see, like I'd go in to punish that, but then I'd get hit by the edge of it, so it's weird. It's a weird one. Oh, that was weird. Oh, I thought maybe I get the bleed on that. Oh, I like this so far. I like to do it well. The int add-on is nice. I'm a fan of it. Oh! Oh, it didn't hit. Okay.
Everyone, I'd like to raise a toast. It's that classic Ritz cracker taste and a crunchy, toasted chip.
To the chip! To the chip!
Ritz toasted chips. The crunchy chips, only from Ritz.
Interesting. Thought that would have. Good spacing on Link so far. I can't. I don't want to go in there and get punished by that. It's scary. Alright, what's Link's plan here? I want to try a Storm Stomp, because then I will get my health back. I also just popped the Link bubble tier. There, we popped our bubble tier. Now we're all in an even place of health right now. Oh, Frostbite can do me in. I gotta watch out. Oh, that's what you have that as a punish for. I see. Oh god. It's right down to the end again. I can't take a free hit. Neither can Link. Oh god, that was so close. Amazing fight, Link. I'm glad you were in the last battle, actually. I'm sure if I was gonna see you today. But alright, let's just see how these perform in the invasions. Heading into our first invasion, and we're in the Annex Tunnel. This has definitely been somewhere that's pretty popular in my showcase videos recently. Everyone is co-oping here. Hello, guys. Hello. Who's the dream? Ah! Anime. How long does that cast for? That was a visual effect, or will that hit me? Oh, it's a visually weird effect. I'm casting that one. That's confusing. Why is it constantly going? Okay, Spawn, you were like, imagine the Spawn wrecking me that hard. Yes. Boss story there. It's so confusing. I don't know what to dodge and what not to dodge. It's like constantly I just hear that going crazy, or what?
No. No.
Okay, there goes the sun, bro. Why is that? Even when the Phantom's dead, it's still doing it? What in the heck? What kind of issue is that? Okay. Well, that was an interesting invasion. I see the Phantom's machine gun spell is done now. Heading into our next invasion, we're in Lanedale. There's the host, Rogue. Hello, Rogue. Rogue, hello.
What?
Rogue
Meow.
has a moon veil, it seems.
Meow.
And what looks like, oh, the stars. The beauty of the stars. Okay, it's kind of blinding, I guess. I can see what you're going for here. That's a Nagakiba, I believe. No need to roll.
Max. Max. Meow.
That looks kind of funny. Backstep attack on that one. I guess the bleed build looks pretty good. There's that. actually. Okay, you got hit by one. That's not too bad. Oh, very fun fight, Rogue.
No.
You only panic rolled the first one. You jumped the second one. I like that. Okay. Heading into our next invasion, we've invaded Andreas. Run towards me, Red.
Oh.
Neon, I want to back you up. But I can't if you're running away from me. Oh, great jump attack. Bonk. Hey there, Mr. Colossal Swordman. You must have bleed buildup, huh? I also have bleed buildup. Mental city being bled. Probably as close as I am right now. Careful.
Get down.
Oh.
Go.
The red die or the neon die? The red die. Oh, very fun fight. Unfortunate. We didn't really get to do much. Heading into the final invasion, and we're in the Mogwin Dynasty. I hope they're not. Okay, no, the compass seems like it's this direction. Like they have definitely hurt all the enemies in the area. Wait. These look suspicious. I do not trust
What?
anything anymore. Oh, Blue! Hello, Blue! Hey, Zara? I don't know.
Go to Dave & Buster's and break free of adulthood. It's worth a shot. Begin the method today with 5 free games.
I don't know. Oh, I see the host. He's coming down from his little hiding hole. Hello. I see you over there. Hey there. You weren't down to fight when I was over there, though. Huh? You're only down when the blue gets here. I see. I see.
You ready to go back? Come on.
Somewhere in madness.
Nothing's chasing me.
hope everyone enjoyed the showcase. Once again, there's my stats on the right. The
Are you ready for the single best build in Elden Ring? My magnum opus. I have eliminated the need for dodge rolling. But don't just take my word for it. Here is my level 125 self versus New Game Plus Omen King. Notice the damage I'm taking, or more accurately, not taking. A few moments later. Tarnished! What the hell was that? Also, is it just me, or does anyone else get this kind of vibe from the Omen King after you defeat him? Hello, my fellow Tarnished, and welcome to. This is it. This is the immortal tank of death. Never die, never need to dodge roll, tank and plow your way through every single boss attack as you out-heal it and obliterate it in a flurry of fire, frost, bleed, and pain. And you become, well, truly the most powerful being in all of Elden Ring. It is beautiful, and I mean, you're just seeing how well it works. Took it to New Game Plus, of course, so I could show you it on some meaty challenges, but it really is just beautiful. You run round with an average of 80% damage reduction. 80%! On top of having near infinite poise all of the time to just basically embody the sentiment of not giving a fuck. And I think it is just beautiful. Essentially, this build is... And I know you're going to want to do it too. So, how do you do it? Well, it does involve stacking essentially nearly every method of damage reduction in the entire game, while still beautifully maintaining a stellar offense. And that offense is what we're going to begin with. The weapon, the core, what makes this possible. Meet the great stars. This is the most effective one-handed strength weapon in the game. It's also one of the very select few weapons that heals you when you hit an enemy with it. 1% of your health it gives back. That is a requirement here, so our choice is already limited, but fortunately Great Stars is just perfect. It does an incredibly large amount of damage for a very low stat investment. It's got a great moveset, it's got natural bleed, which is a huge benefit to an otherwise low scaling build, and it can take an Ash of War, and since an Ash of War is also key to this, I mean, it's like it was tailor-made to make you an unstoppable god of Elden Ring. So we want 2 great stars. You can get a second one in New Game Plus or get someone to drop you it. And if you want a backup choice, well, nothing works quite as well as 2 of them, but any great hammer for that power stance in your other hand will have to sub in. So the Ash of War that I mentioned, which is also the linchpin on top of Great Stars, well, it's the oft overlooked, underrated, but secretly overpowered Endure. This is from War Master. You can buy it in his shack or from his chair in Volcano Manor. It also comes on Great Stars, but we want the actual Ash of War so we can change the affinity. We're going to make our main hand Great Stars Frost, so we get that Frost pop as well as that Bleed pop for burst damage, and so we do more damage, and basically it's the key to how much damage this build does, despite only having the bare minimum stats to wield the weapon, and nothing more than that, because we need to put our points points elsewhere. I should say at this point that this build just gets infinitely better the higher level you are. As soon as you can start filling out your scaling stats like strength, well then it just gets ludicrous. As soon as you can have more endurance and wear even heavier armor, well then it just gets ludicrous. But we will get to all of that too. So what endure does is, well, it makes you endure. While it is active, and it stays active for about 3 seconds, you essentially have infinite poise. It takes the absolute most massivest of hits to knock you down, but I mean, you can get slammed by trolls and giants and just not care. Dragons, you just don't care. Honestly, it's hard to find an attack that will actually flinch you out of your animations while Endure is on you. But not only that, you take a massive amount of reduced damage. It's relative to how much damage reduction you already have, but it gives you, on average, a 30% damage reduction. It's very cheap, it's spammable, and you can see while stacking this on top of an otherwise insanely defensive build just pushes it over the edge of ridiculous, because you can just tank every enemy attack, not to care, not flinch, and return with your own as you just walk through them. It's beautiful. So, that's kind of cool. Stats spread-wise, you want to have, well, the exact stats to wield great stars, so 22 strength. You want to have 60 vigor, that is the minimum here, it's the soft cap, and that really helps power our percent healing from great stars. We want 38 faith because a couple of incantations are key to this, and the most costly one is requiring 38 faith, and after that, basically pour everything into endurance. You're aiming to wear the heaviest, biggest, poisiest, most damage reduction armor set possible. I have gone for, well, the best I can do, carefully selecting, but of course the ultra endgame is workable Bulgoton, but armor heaviness and tankiness is the least important factor here compared to everything else. So, before we get to those incantations, let's talk talismans. You want the 2 health increasing talismans. Again, it makes you that much tankier and powers that percentage healing. Those are Erdtree's Favor +2. That gives you an extra 4% health on top of the Stamina and Equipload, which is actually incredibly useful for this build, so it's just the best talisman going. The other one is the Crimson Amber Medallion +2. You get this again from the City of Ash. Drop down through sewer entrance, carefully land on the balance beam, and pick it up from the corpse. This is a 7.5% health increase. The other 2 talismans then, as you might imagine, are the Dragon Crest Shield. This gives you an extra 20% damage reduction. It gets a little bit less effective the more damage reduction you already have, but it's the single greatest I'm not going to die passive in the game. You get that from the Hallig Tree, from the drainage channel Grace, do a little bit of running across the roots, drop down onto the building, drop into the building, avoid the army of centipede people, and then desperately claim it from the chest before they murder you. Then our final talisman is the Lord's Talisman. Because we are relying on quite a few incantation buffs here, they already last a minute and a half, but extending that duration is really, really helpful. This is more of a flex slot because you can get away without it, but it's kind of what I've gone for. This is from Farum Azula, from beside the Great Bridge of Grace. Instead of heading up towards Malakath, go the opposite direction, have a little bit of a brief run round, drop down a ladder, head onto a bridge, and get to the bridge is a room, and in the room is a chest, and in the chest is the talisman. Oh! Incantations then! There are 2 that really matter. Anything else is kind of an extra bonus. Like Barrier of Gold, which gives you 70% magic damage reduction for those pesky mages. So yes, this works great against magic too, but the 2 that matter are Golden Vow. That's just picked up in a shack on Mount Gelmir, easy enough, a short little run from the nearest Grace. This is an extra 15% damage and 10% damage reduction. Then we want Blessing of the Erdtree. This is that 38 faith requirement. You get this from right next to the Bedchamber Grace on said bed, though it's the most uncomfortable. It's just a giant curved rock. What is this room? In any case, it is a blessing that heals you for 12 health a second for 90 seconds. That's over 1,000 worth of healing, and when you're taking this little damage, it really goes a long way to keeping you alive effortlessly, and it's simply fantastic. Obviously, Old Lords extends the duration, thus extends the healing to be even more. It's an absolutely beautiful little ditty. I also occasionally add Flamecraft Strength for more bleed damage, but that's by the by, you can if you want, it doesn't help the damage reduction. Finally then! Oh, we're talking items, yes, items, because there is one item that gives an extra 20% damage reduction that really helps cap this off, and that is the Boiled Crab.
Since your daddy has taken a step back, there has been a decline in attendance.
Huh?
You
I'm gonna make my crab stand. I'm gonna put them in my mouth.
From the Blackguard once he moves to the Laydale boat. Simply buy some boiled prawns off him in the area, then he will move to the boat, and you'll find him there and buy the boiled crab. And add another 20% damage reduction. Now, all of these damage reductions don't just stack by adding on top of each other. There is diminishing returns. But as I said, everything coming together gives you around a permanent 80% damage reduction. So you're only taking 20% damage from bosses, combined with the healing from your Great Stars, from your Erdtree's Blessing, from your Melania Rune, if you have that in your current game cycle as well. You are just unstoppable, because thanks to Endure, you can also just power through their attacks and keep hitting them. So it's not like you're being constantly knocked to the floor, you just don't care. The boss doesn't matter. It's just a wall of meat in front of you ready for pounding. And by God, you're going to pound it. I really should have thought about my phrasing a little bit better there. Now, you may have noticed through some of this, occasionally I switch to my left Great Stars and bust out something altogether interesting. Yes, on my left Great Stars, which I have set to Holy Damage, because that's the best option here. Our Faith is actually our highest scaling stat here, because the 38 requirement for Erdtrees is Prayerful Strike. This heals you for 30% of your total health. So any situation where you marginally somehow get low while doing this, you just switch to two-handing your left weapon, bust out a couple of Prayerfuls which have massive hyper armor, heal back up to full, go back to power stancing, and just continue the unstoppable juggernaut beatdown. It really is a beautiful symphony that I am so proud of and so happy to be able to bring you. Prayerful is from the Scarab that is seeing in the boat 2. So yeah, all of this comes together to make you just ridiculously strong. Not only is your damage solid thanks to the already solid Great Stars that you should have completely lost, but you just don't take damage, you don't get flinched, and you don't stop. You have a single binding purpose to walk from Limgrave to the Erdtree itself, smash through that form door, and rip the goddamn spine out of the Elden Beast. It really is magnificent. The fact that walking through bosses like they Tickle Me on New Game Plus is testament to just how effective this is. Now imagine if you're level 200, you can put more points in endurance for heavier armor and more damage reduction points, more points in strength and fade to amp damage even more. You can see how much this will scale as you keep going, and it's amazing. Not to mention even the PvP clips that you likely been seeing around the place. It's so funny when an enemy attacks you, does no damage, doesn't flinch you, and they're like, oh my god! Obviously, it's still only as good as you are at hitting people with power stancing great happens to PvP. You still gotta connect, and eventually, they'll kill you, because in PvP, the effectiveness of a lot of these bosses deliver information, literally would never be able to die. But don't get me wrong, it is not possible to be tankier in a PvP situation than this, and you are literally impossible to trade with, and it's so good. Thank you then for listening. I hope you have enjoyed it, been inspired, and go out and collect the pieces of this defensive. So, until we meet again, like if you have enjoyed this, subscribe. Builds, tips, tricks, funny bits, all of that good stuff. And please consider supporting future of this channel. Update you down below. For now, though, a good.
And Todd did hollow with the pity, dropping a hammer like a hammer on his tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a new.
Dawn Power Wash has 3 cleaning not found in traditional dish soaps. It's more than soap.
Ronnie is a major NPC in Elden Ring. She has an important quest line that's tied to one of the game's multiple endings. It involves Roger, Celavis, Blyde, Thea, and a handful of unique rewards, including a legendary. Moving on, head towards the north side of the boss chamber. If you don't have the Dark Moon Ring, there will be a seal blocking the path. Ahead, you'll find a lift that will take you directly to Moonlight Altar, the plateau in southwest Liurnia that is unreachable through any other means. The legendary Black Knight Tish and Ronnie's Dark Moon sorcery can both be found here, but we'll just stick to completing Ronnie's quest in this video. For that, travel northeast towards the Cathedral of Manus Celis. Stone Dragon Adula will appear and attack as you approach the cathedral, and you can try to defeat this boss now if you'd like to, but it isn't necessary for completing Ronnie's quest. At the cathedral site of Grace, make your way down the tunnel to the south. I really want to avoid spoiling this scene, so I'll just say that you'll find Ronnie and speak to her to unlock the Age of Stars ending to the game. For that, you'll need to find Ronnie's summoning sign and activate it after defeating the final boss. After speaking to Ronnie at the cathedral, you can pick up the Dark Moon Greatsword, which is one of the legendary armaments. It requires an intelligence stat of 38 to use proficiently and causes frost buildup. It also has the unique skill Moonlight Greatsword, which temporarily increases magic attack power and imbues the blade with frost. It'll also cause charged attacks to release blasts of moonlight for the duration. Now there are still a few loose ends to tie up at this point. Return to Ronnie's Rise and exit out the main entrance to find a hostile Blyde. You'll need to defeat him to get the Blyde's armor set. If you don't already have the wolf mask, you can head over to Celavis's Rise and scale the broken stone wall on the exterior. It's found up near High Point. After that, head inside Celavis's Rise. Regardless of whether you complete this questline, you'll find his corpse. You can loot the Preceptor armor set off of it, and you can also interact with his corpse to purchase some puppets in exchange for Starlight Shards. You should also go to Pydia the Carrion Serpent. He's found in an upper level of Carrion Manor that can only be reached by jumping down to a rooftop northeast of Celavis's Rise. Assuming you didn't complete Celavis's questline, you'll be able to pick up the Dolores puppet from Pydia's remains. Finally, head to E.G.'s location south of Carrion Manor. Go through all of his dialogue and 2 things will happen. First, even if you didn't complete Blyde's quest, you should be able to purchase the Carrion Filigree crest, which reduces the FP cost of weapon skills. Second, after telling E.G. about Blyde's death and reloading the area, E.G. will be dead and you'll be able to loot his bell bearing, along with the helm. I think that's about it for Ronnie's questline. If you're still having trouble with this quest, you can reach out in the comments section where I'll do my best to help. I also recommend checking the comment I have pinned, as I'll be updating it with information about specific problems people are having and potential solutions. I'm working on guides for all the major quests in Elden Ring. If you want to find those, you can head over to my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat, her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day. If you're here today, have a great Friday and a great weekend. And as always, thanks for watching. Liurnia that is unreachable through any other means. The legendary Black Knight Tish and Ronnie's Dark Moon sorcery can both be found here, but we'll just stick to completing Ronnie's quest in this video. For that, travel northeast towards the Cathedral of Manus Celis. Flintstone Dragon Udula will appear and attack as you approach the cathedral. You can try to defeat this boss now if you'd like to, but it isn't necessary for completing Ronnie's quest. At the Cathedral Site of Grace, make your way down the tunnel to the south. I really want to avoid spoiling this scene, so I'll just say that you'll find Ronnie and speak to her to unlock the Age of Stars ending to the game. For that, you'll need to find Ronnie's summoning sign and activate it after defeating the final boss. After speaking to Ronnie at the cathedral, you can pick up the Dark Moon Greatsword, which is one of the legendary armaments. It requires an intelligence stat of 38 to use proficiently and causes frost buildup. It also has the unique skill Moonlight Greatsword, which temporarily increases magic attack power and imbues the blade with frost. It'll also cause charged attacks to release blasts of moonlight for the duration. Now there are still a few loose ends to tie up at this point. Return to boss. After speaking to travel northeast towards the Cathedral of Manus Celis. Stone Dragon Udula will appear and attack as you approach the cathedral. And you can try to defeat this boss now if you'd like to, but it isn't necessary for completing Ronnie's quest. Once at the Cathedral Site of Grace, make your way down the tunnel to the south. I really want to avoid spoiling this scene, so I'll just say that you'll find Ronnie and speak to her to unlock the Age of Stars ending to the game. For that, you'll need to find Ronnie's summoning sign and activate it after defeating the final boss. After speaking to Ronnie at the cathedral, requires an intelligence stat of 38 to use proficiently and causes frost buildup. It also has the unique skill Moonlight Greatsword, which temporarily increases magic attack power and imbues the blade with frost. It'll also cause charged attacks to release blasts of moonlight for the duration. Now there are still a few loose ends to tie up at this point. Return to Ronnie's Rise and exit out the main entrance to find a hostile Glide. You'll need to defeat them to get the Glide's armor set. If you don't already have the book fast, you can head over to Celibus's Rise and scale the broken stone wall on the exterior. It's found up near Highwold. After that, head inside Celibus's Rise. So whether you complete his quest line, you'll find his corpse. You can loot the Preceptor armor set off of it, and you can also interact with his corpse to purchase some puppets in exchange for shards. You should also go to Pydia the Carrion Servant. He's found in an upper level of Carrion by jumping down to a rooftop northeast of Celibus's Rise. Assuming you didn't complete Celibus's questline, you'll be able to pick up this puppet from Pydia's location south of Caria Manor. Go through all of his dialogue and two things will happen. First, you should be able to purchase the Carrion Filigree Crest, which reduces the FP cost of weapon skills. Second, after telling EG about Clyde's death and reloading the area, he will be dead. That's about it.
So, it was thee who would become my lord. Perhaps I needn't have warned. I am pleased, however. Thou art, I go now to the night sky. It is there I shall bid thee travel the path of the and once all is done, we
subscribing. Today, have a great Friday and a great weekend. And as always, thanks for watching. Travel northeast towards the Cathedral of Manus Celis. Stone Dragon Udula will appear and attack as you approach the cathedral. And you can try to defeat this boss now if you'd like to, but it isn't necessary for completing Ronnie's quest. Once at the cathedral site of Grace, make your way down the tunnel to the south. I really want to avoid spoiling this scene, so I'll just say that you'll find Ronnie and speak to her to unlock the Age of Stars ending to the game. For that, you'll need to find Ronnie's summoning sign and activate it after defeating the final boss. After speaking to Ronnie at the cathedral, you can pick up the Dark Moon Greatsword, which is one of the legendary armaments. It requires an intelligence stat of 38 to use proficiently and causes frost buildup. It also has the unique skill Moonlight Greatsword, which temporarily increases magic attack power and imbues the blade with frost. It'll also cause charged attacks to release blasts of moonlight for the duration. Now there are still a few loose ends to tie up at this point. Return to Ronnie's Rise and exit out the main entrance to find a hostile Blide. You'll need to defeat him to get the Blide's armor set. If you don't already have the wolf mask, you can head over to Celibus's Rise and scale the broken stone wall on the exterior. It's found up near a high point. After that, head inside Celibus's Rise. Regardless of whether you completed his questline, you'll find his corpse. You can loot the Preceptor armor set off of it, and you can also interact with his corpse to purchase some puppets in exchange for Starlight Shards. You should also go to Pydia, the Carrion Servant. He's found in the upper level of Carrion Manor that can only be reached by jumping down to a rooftop northeast of Celibus's Rise. Assuming you didn't complete Celibus's questline, you'll be able to pick up the Dolores puppet from Pydia's remains.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
Right now, for free.
Greetings. Oh, what very well, let us heresy all things. Oh, what have we here? Very well, let us heresy is not native to the world. It is but a contrivance. All things can be convenient. Oh, what have we here? Very well, heresy is not all things can. To experience absolution. You know, it's said that Lord Radigan harbored a secret. A famed sculptor of the Erdtree capital was once summoned to render Lord Radigan's life when he glimpsed the skeleton in Radigan's closet. And as such, it's said the great statue you know, a famed when he glimpsed, and as such. You know, it's said that a famed when he glimpsed, and as such, it to experience absolute. Is there something else?
Hurricane here from GamersHeroes.com, and today we're going to go over where to find Celibus in Elden Ring so that you can complete the next part of this quest. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to head up to the Lemuria Lake, or whatever it's called, and the towers up here. had to have been back there in order to get the quest, so I'm pretty sure you've already beat this place and come out the back. But if not, that's how you get back there. His tower is the southmost tower in the area. When you get there, chat with him. At first, he'll ask you if you want to join or if you want to basically do a mission for him. I'm pretty sure you have to accept in order for him to help you out in the next part. So accept that and then talk to him again, and he will help you out with your part of the quest where he says, hey, you need to go see a woman named Selena. Yeah, but there you go. There's Sylvis. So if you like what you saw and got what you needed, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Later, Gators.
The Necronomicon. To ease our way into this list, let's begin with a supposedly completely fictional book created by the famous writer H.P. Lovecraft. Also referred to as the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon appears in several of Lovecraft's stories where it was supposedly written in the early 1700s by an Arabic man named Abdul al-Hazran, who was a devotee of the demonic deities Yog-Sothoth and Cthulhu, before he was apparently horribly devoured by an invisible demon in front of a presumably very confused and very terrified crowd. After this, the work was apparently translated and passed down over the years, having versions made in Greek, Latin, and English, while simultaneously being banned by various political and religious figures throughout history. Lovecraft was very sparing with the details about the contents and appearance of the book, believing that the mystery made it more frightening, though sections of it are quoted in his stories, such as the famous couplet appearing in The Nameless City, which goes, "That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange aeons even death may die." Over the years, Lovecraft was asked several times if the Necronomicon was in fact a real book, but he would always answer that it was not, and that the idea came to him in a dream. Of course, a number of paranormal enthusiasts believe that this dream was actually a vision given to Lovecraft by the demonic entities, and over the years, many famous libraries who people believe are hiding copies of the book, such as the Vatican Library, often receive requests from eager readers wanting to know the secrets of life and death supposedly enclosed within the pages of the Necronomicon. The Book of the Dead appears in many other works of fiction, with Lovecraft's approval, as he believed that different authors using common allusions helped to build a background of evil verisimilitude. Is the Necronomicon a real book, or is it just a piece of fiction that has managed to take on a life of its own? Well, it depends who you ask. Number 4, The Lesser Key of Solomon. The Lesser Key of Solomon is a grimoire compiled in the 17th century from materials that were already centuries old at the time of the book's original publication. The volume is divided into 5 books, one of which contains instructions on how to grant the practicing magician an eidetic memory and the ability to instantly learn materials. Another of the books teaches the user how to contact angels using a wax tablet and a method known as scrying. 2 of the other books describe the 24 different angels and their relation to the 24 hours in the day, and the 360 spirits of the degrees of the zodiac. However, the Lesser Key's most famous book is known as Ars Goetia, which contains 72 sigils, each representing a different demon, as well as instructions on how to summon the 72 demons, and even how to control them. Before you go searching for a copy at Barnes & Noble, consider the following. The Lesser Key of Solomon is apparently a cursed book, with anyone who owns a copy of it reportedly being subject to constant bad luck, or in some cases, even death. Some owners of the book have reported seeing the pages turning by themselves, and even flying across the room, while hearing whispers and seeing dark shadow people. If this warning has reached you too late, and you have already fallen victim to this horrible curse, the good news is that it can apparently be broken by burning all the pages and disposing of the ashes. No one knows for sure who wrote the Lesser Key of Solomon. Some, of course, believe that it was written by King Solomon himself as a gift for his son, but others believe that it was actually dictated by some of the 72 demons in order to give themselves a means of crossing over to our world. Whoever actually wrote it, I hope that it was done with the purpose of helping us control the dark forces that are knocking on the door of reality, and not the other way around. Number 3. The Book of Soiga. This 16th century treatise on magic, written in Latin, came into the possession of the former advisor of Queen Elizabeth I and famous mathematician, astrologer, alchemist, and occultist John Dee in the year 1580. The book was filled with spells and instructions on how to summon demons, but most curious of all were the several pages which were covered in more than 40,000 letters, all seemingly distributed at random. John Dee spent 2 years trying to crack the code that would allow him to read the book, but could not. In 1582, his colleague and fellow occultist Edward Kelly offered to perform a seance using a special mirror which would allow the Archangel Uriel to speak through him. They performed the ritual with Dee recording the dialogue between himself and the angel in his spiritual diaries. Dee began the conversation by asking, "Is my Book of Soiga of any excellency?" The angel replied in Latin that the pages of the book were indeed special and were revealed to Adam by the good angels of God in the Garden of Eden. When asked if he could help them translate the tablets of letters which comprised the final 36 pages of the book, the angel responded that only the Archangel Michael had the power to decipher it. Dee would spend several more years failing to decipher the final pages of the book, while concerned at the rumors that the book was cursed and would bring death to anyone who translated it within 2.5 years. The book eventually went missing and was considered lost to history, with the only references to it being in Dee's various diaries. This changed in 1994, when a John Dee scholar searched the British Library. It had been searched many times before, but all the previous searchers had made the mistake of looking for it under the letter S for Soiga, instead of using the book's alternate title described in one of Dee's diaries, Alderia Sive Soiga Vocor. The scholar found 2 copies of the book using this method. In 2006, a mathematician was able to use a computer to analyze the 46,656 letters of the tables and discover the different keyword that each coded page used. This also revealed that the spelling errors between the 2 books proved that they were both actually copies of an even older text of unknown origin. The author of these texts is still unknown, and though the supposed angel said it was dictated to Adam by angels, the idea of angels in the Garden of Eden teaching Adam how to summon demons seems inconsistent with the established biblical lore. Is this supposedly cursed-coded grimoire actually authored by some sinister and malevolent force? And what purpose was the book intended to fill? The more we learn about this book, the more mysterious it seems to get. Number 2. The Grand Grimoire. Sporting the alternate name of the Gospel of Satan, this 16th century book has the reputation of being one of the most terrifying books on occultism ever written. The book is filled with instructions to summon not only demons, but the devil himself in order to sell your soul to Old Scratch. It describes in great details the rituals that will let you call forth Lucifer, Beelzebub, Astaroth, as well as 6 lesser demons, and also contains spells that will, among other things, let you win the lottery, talk to spirits, make someone fall in love with you, and turn yourself invisible. The book's ritual instructions are very intense, with some spells calling for house pets like cats to be sacrificed and skinned and popped into a pot. The original copy of this book is currently being kept under lock and key in the Vatican archives, but other versions are available for purchase, such as the Kindle version, which you can own for $1.75, which is a great deal for something that will apparently let you turn invisible and then win the lottery. Of course, the additional cost of your pet cat and your soul may add up. The name of the original author is unknown. However, legends and rumors state that the author wrote the text while being possessed by the devil, which I suppose makes him Satan's ghostwriter. Number 1. The Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich...
Small business owners don't always have time for cybersecurity. That's why the Google tools they use every day are secure by default. You built it. We'll help you defend it. Find what you're looking for on Bumble. Was tempted by yours.
Will the owner of a 2022 Blue Silver Envoy please come collect your car? And the alarm is okie dokie, never mind. Ladies, gentlemen, and tarnished of all ages, are you ready to let out your inner beast? Whether you're here because you want to know what's up with the weird hunched over guy in the corner of that giant sanctum in Galen, or because you found this weird plant that has death in the name and you're scared that you touched it and you might fall over soon, this is the place to be. In Elden Ring, there is a specific item called Death Root. There are 9 of them in the game, and the only known use for them is to feed them to a beast man called Garank, the beast clergyman. He is located in the Bestial Sanctum all the way in the northeast of Caelid, which you can access much faster just north of the Third Church of America site of Grace through a waygate that is in here, and then inside of this Bestial Sanctum is the big bad wolf ready for some death plant.
You want to buy some death sticks?
Every time you give Garank 1 death root, he will give you something in exchange. For the most part, this is very specifically related to a new school of incantations, the Beast Incantations, but he will also give you a weapon along the way, and the final goodie is good for anyone who plays Elden Ring. All of this said, let's talk about where to find the 9 death root in Elden Ring and what you get for handing each of them in. starting with the rewards so you'll know if you want to take part in this journey in the first place, and then moving on to their locations. I will try to go in the order that you're likely to find them in-game, so if we get to a part of the game that you haven't been to yet, stop there and then come back here later. The first time that you give Garank a Deathroot, he will in return give you the Beast Eye, which essentially is just a tool to tell you when Deathroot is nearby, as well as the Claw Mark Seal, which is a very solid seal for casting incantations, which boosts any bestial incantations, as well as uniquely scaling with both strength and faith for boosting your incantations, though unfortunately only with B scaling on each at max rank. When you give him a second Deathroot, in exchange you will receive the Bestial Sling incantation. This flings out a bunch of rocks right in front of you. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it is incredibly fast, and against smaller enemies or people in PvP, it can often break the poise of anyone not in heavy armor. The third time that you give him a Deathroot, he will give you the Bestial Vitality incantation. This one just slowly raises your HP, which sounds great in theory, but the actual effect is sort of underwhelming, not really anything that would help actively in combat so much as just to allow you to heal up cheaply in between fights if you want to wait. The fourth time that you give him Deathroot, you will get the Ashes of War, Beast's Roar, which is a very cool and surprisingly strong Ash of War that you can apply to any standard melee weapon. The damage is increased by the upgrade level of the weapon, as well as anything that ups the damage of weapon skills and roars, as this does count as a roar. As a result, if you really want, you can build yourself around just sort of screaming at things from 30 feet away until they die, and honestly, I will respect your choices if you do. After you give him the fourth Deathroot and walk away, the next time that you see him, he will be hostile towards you. Don't fret though, all you have to do is hit him for a while until he calms down. Just make sure not to kill him before he surrenders.
You want to go home and rethink your life?
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Afterwards, he will accept Deathroot like normal. The fifth time that you give a Deathroot to Garank, he will give you the Beast Claw incantation, which rends the earth a decent distance in front of you in a cone shape for pretty good damage, as well as being a chargeable spell. The sixth time that you give him a Deathroot, you'll receive the Stone of Garank incantation, which is one of my favorite because you just sort of hurl a rock. You throw a boulder at them. It's funny, and I like it, okay? It also does decent damage, but it has a bit of a longer wind-up time to it. The seventh time that you give him a Deathroot, you will get the Beast Claw Great Hammer, which scales with strength, dexterity, and faith when leveled up. It will scale with strength and dexterity a bit better than faith, and the Ash of War on it is basically just a much wider but shorter range version of Beast Claw. Unfortunately, it does not appear that hitting more than one line on an enemy multiplies the damage at all, or else it would be sick to just sort of shotgun a boss 2 feet away from you with all 5 lines for a load of extra damage, but it just doesn't work that way. Any hit from this attack counts as a hit from this attack. It's more like a cone-like field of effect than individual entities of damage. The eighth time that you give him Deathroot, you'll get the Garank's Beast Claw incantation, which is generally similar to the Beast Claw, the standard one, except that it is much shorter range and affects the entire 360-degree area around you instead of just a cone in front of you. The damage is also quite a bit lesser, but the main thing here is the ability to just hit everything in a circle. Unfortunately, the range does leave a little bit to be desired. And then the ninth and final time that you give Garank a Deathroot, he will reflect upon his gluttony, give you an ancient dragon smithing stone, and then apparently Renan finished collecting the Infinity Stones or something because this good boy gets dusted, leaving his sanctum empty and his story complete. Now for how to get the Deathroots. The first two are in the Limgrave region, starting over in the Death-Touched Catacombs in the north. Path through here from the side of Grace and the lever is extremely straightforward, and once you have unlocked the door, kill the boss inside, and then behind them is a chest containing one Deathroot. Secondly, over just a bit east in Summonwater Village, we have a Tibia Mariner field boss. If you haven't seen these guys before, they're an absolute treat, just wonderful lads out for a boat ride with their friends. There are 4 of them in the game, each in a different region, and each of them gives you a Deathroot, and so they are all stops on today's journey. The first one being here. Third up on the Deathroot, just a short trek south of the Artist Shack side of Grace in the eastern Liurnia region, is another Tibia Mariner, once again dropping a Deathroot upon defeat. Fourthly, a bit of a journey north of that location, at the northmost point that you can reach from this side, you will find the Black Knife Catacombs, at the end of which is surprisingly not a Black Knife boss. However, if you kill what is inside there will be a chest behind it containing another Deathroot. The fifth one is up in the Altus Plateau region. In the Windham Ruins, you will find something that you would never expect. Of course, it's another Mariner, of the Tibia variety, no doubt. Once again, you must defeat him and steal his dying plants. Sixth, you must head all the way up to the top of Mount Gelmir, the side way, to find the Mount Gelmir Hero's Grave dungeon. Once inside, head straight down, carefully waiting for the chariot trap to pass each time, until you reach the lava field. After which, just run slowly through the lava, chugging flask to heal until you reach the inlet in the back right. Ninth and final time that you give Garank a death root, he will reflect upon his gluttony, give you an ancient dragon smithing stone, and then apparently Radon finished collecting the infinity stones or something because this good boy gets dusted, leaving his sanctum empty and his story complete. Now for how to get the death roots. The first two are in the Limgrave region, starting over in the death-touched catacombs in the north. The path through here from the site of grace to the lever is extremely straightforward, and once you have unlocked the door, kill the boss inside, and then behind them is a chest containing one death root. Secondly, over just a bit east in Summonwater Village, we have a Tibia Mariner field boss. If you haven't seen these guys before, they're an absolute treat. Just wonderful lads out for a boat ride with their friends. There are 4 of them in the game, each in a different region, and each of them gives you a death route, and so they are all stops on today's journey. The first one being here. Third up on the death route, just a short trek south of the Artist Shack site of grace in the eastern Liurnia region, is another Tibia Mariner, once again dropping a death route upon defeat. Fourthly, a bit of a journey north of that location to the northmost point that you can reach from this side, you will find the Black Knife Catacombs, at the end of which is a Tibia Mariner field boss. If you haven't seen these guys before, a bit east in Summonwater Village, we have a Mariner field boss. If you haven't seen these guys before, they're an absolute treat. Just wonderful lads out for a boat ride with their friends. There are 4 of them in the game, each in a different region, and each of them gives you a death route, and so they are all stops on today's journey. The first one being here. Third up on the death route, just a short trek south of the Artist Shack site of Grace in the eastern Liurnia region, is another Tibia Mariner, once again dropping a death route upon defeat. Fourthly, a bit of a journey north of that location to the northmost point that you can reach from this Lock the door, kill the boss inside, and then behind them is a chest containing 1 death route. Secondly, over just a bit east in Summonwater Village, we have a Tibia Mariner field boss. If you haven't seen these guys before, they're an absolute treat. Just wonderful lads out for a boat ride with their friends. There are 4 of them in the game, each in a different region, and each of them gives you a death route, and so they are all stops on today's journey. The first one being here. Third up on the death route, just a short trek south of the Artist Shack site of Grace in the eastern Liurnia region, is another Tibia Mariner, once again dropping a death route upon defeat. Fourthly, a bit of a journey north of that location to the northmost point that you can reach from this side, you will find the Black Knife Catacombs, at the end of which is surprisingly not a Black Knife boss. However, if you kill what is inside there will be a chest behind it containing another death route. The fifth one is up in the Altus Plateau region. In the Windham Ruins, you will find something that you would never expect. Of course, it's another Mariner, of the Tibia variety, no doubt. Once again, you must defeat him and steal his dying plants. Sixth, you must head all the way up to the top of Mount Gelmir the side way to find the Mount Gelmir Hero's Grave dungeon. Once inside, head straight down, carefully waiting for the chariot trap to pass each time until you reach the lava field. After which, just run slowly through the lava, chugging flash to heal until you reach the inlet in the back right. Drop down and you will find a boss door. Inside of here is a beast that you must defeat to get the chest behind, within which is your death route prize. Seventh, we are now going to move on to the mountaintop of the Giants region of the game, and all of the rest of them will come from this general area. The first one in the Giants mountaintop catacombs, which you can find just before this big bridge area with all the fire monks by dropping down to the side and following it to the bottom. Once inside, this one is a bit of a maze, but that is quite purposeful. Continue onwards to reach the first elevator. There is a secret under this elevator if you send it back up without you, but this isn't the path to our main objective, which is instead onto the mountaintop of the Giants region of the game, and all of the rest of them will come from this general area. The first one in the Giants mountaintop catacombs, which you can find just before this big bridge area with all the fire monks by dropping down to the side and following it to the bottom. Once inside, this one is a bit of a maze, but that is quite purposeful. Continue onwards to reach the first. Now going to move on to the mountaintop of the Giants region of the game. rest of them will come from this general area. The first one of the Giant's Mountaintop Catacombs, which you can find just before this big bridge area with all the fire monks by dropping down to the side and following it to the bottom. Once inside, this one is a bit of a maze, but that is quite purposeful. Continue onwards to reach the first elevator. There is a secret under this elevator if you send it back up without you, but this isn't the path to our main objective, which is instead forwards and homes, which you can find just before the monks by dropping down to the side. It's one of the Giant's Mountaintop Catacombs, which you can find just before.
Oh, I wasn't ready for that.
Strong enamel is your best defense against erosion and cavities. Reinforce that defense with new Pronamel Active Shield.
Fuck is that? Oh my god! Wow. Fuck that.